Well, hello everybody. It's Jill Blanchette with Green Thumb Stampers. It's time for our monthly Christmas card. So today I'm going to pre-record you a Christmas card because I am out of town, but nonetheless, it's a great card, so stay tuned. So this is the card I'm going to make for our Christmas card this month. We're going to trim it or change it up just a little bit, I think, but not too much. So I'm going to show you how to make this. I've got a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of the black cardstock. Go ahead and fold that in half or score it at 5 1/2 and then burnish on your fold real good. And then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of real red that we're going to stamp with Memento ink using the sketched plaid stamp set. This is current. If you have the buffalo plaid stamp that was a few years ago, that would be super cute on here too, but I was trying to limit my retired products. So I'm just going to ink up this stamp with the the Memento. I just had a thought that Versamark would be cute to go over this again. Put this in your Stamparatus and then go over it again with Versamark and some clear powder. That would give it a really cool look. And then I'm going to lay my cardstock down on the top. Just want to kind of make sure I'm getting it on there straight as I can, because it will kind of show if I'm not exactly straight. The plaid will be off, but I'm hoping. And that's how I like to do a big solid stamp. I put a piece of paper over the top and I rub my hand on it. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this onto the card base. Oh, not yet. I want to rough it up first. Go ahead and rough up the edges just to give it a little bit of a different look. Doesn't matter if you tear it either. Just use the side of your scissors or your bone folder or just something rough or hard, I guess, so that you can rough it up. Like this. And you do kind of want to go in the best you can in one direction to keep the, look at that. That's what happens when you put the glue on first. If you go, like, if I go backwards, it might turn the roughed up edge the other direction. So like this, you want it all to kind of come up over the top. And if you go opposite directions or you flip the card stock over, it will force it to like go the other way. All right, and I didn't rip it, which is okay, but it's also okay if you do rip it. I'm gonna kind of fold up my corners a little bit. I want them to kind of have a little bit of grunginess. Since it didn't rip, I would like a little bit of worn up look to it. All right, so I'm going to call that good. And I'm going to put that on my card base. probably could even make this a 1/8 of an inch bigger if you wanted, just so that you don't have quite as much of the black showing. But I'm also going to rough up the black. So it will blend in a little bit more. I knew I was going to forget this step because I forgot this step when I made my sample. There we go. And that's all I was trying to get. A little bit of grungy look there. And then now we can move on. We've got a 4-inch piece of basic white, and you can make it however tall you want. I've got mine at 3.5, and then I'm going to bring in my cutter and cut it down. I'm using In the Pines stamp set, so I've got pine woods dies, and there's just a bunch of trees, and I'm going to use just this piece from the set to give a little bit of motion to the paper. So I'm going to lay it on here sideways. Can you see that? I don't know if I'm in there. And then I'm just going to lay the die down. I want a little bit of it to be able to put on the bottom. So I'm going to put the die roughly 1 inch down from the top. If your paper's too big, then you might need to use your bigger Stampin' Cut and Emboss, but I can use a little one for this. And then it cut my paper in 2 pieces. And then I'm going to glue the larger one down just right on the top of this. I'm going to trim a little bit off just so I can fit in there with my roughed up edges. Let me flip this over. I'm going to cut off just a little smidge. Might even need a little more. Yep, just want a little bit more so it fits off on the side. Yep, we'll call that good right there. And now I'm going to adhere that down. Right up there. Kind of rough that little piece up on the corner in so that it blends a little better there. So now we've got our background for the trees to pile up on. Again, I'm using the In the Pines stamp set. It is retired. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. I borrowed this from my mom. So we've got In the Pines, and I'm going to use Shaded Spruce for the outline of the tree. And I'm going to make a big one because I need a big one. I pre-cut some of these so we don't have to do them all. So I've got a Shaded Spruce outline. And then I'm going to use some Garden Green for the inside. And I do have a couple that I made using old olive as well, just to shake up the variety or the coloring in the background. So that one is Shaded Spruce. I'm going to grab this little set of 3 trees now, because I need a couple of those. We'll do those outline in Shaded Spruce again. I need 2 of those. And then I'm going to do the inside in Garden Green. And I'm going to do 2 more in Garden Green. And then I'm going to do the last one in Old Olive, because I probably will end up cutting that single tree off from here. So I'm just going to ink up the one tree and stamp it down. Then I've got all my dies, and since I got the little machine, I'm going to cut this paper down so that it fits through it. I got the big tree and all the little trees. So give me a second while I cut these out. And as we all know, lining up our dies can be a difficult task. So we've got some tape. You can use some double-sided tape, like Post-it tape, or you can use a Post-it itself, or some people use washi tape. I'll show you. But this little die, I'm lining up the stems of the trees in the hole, and then I'm sort of just looking at the white space around the tops of the trees. And, you know, it's not an exact science or anything, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then I got the sticky part of the Post-it note. You can put that on and stick it down. Keeps it in place. Put your plate on the top and then just put some pressure where the die is so that it doesn't move before it gets into the rollers. And then you've got a nice cutout when you're done. So that's our trees that I'm going to cut out. I've already, like I said, I've already got a bunch cut out. Get this out of our way. Now forgot to put the trunk on the big pine tree. So I got the trunk out of the stamp set. A little pecan pie ink. And we're just going to stamp a little trunk on there. Just close it in, finish it off. It's okay if you don't do it. And then from there, we are just going to start layering our trees on. And building that up. I'm trying to get these dies put away before I end up losing one of them. Again, they are Mom's, so I want to make sure I get them all back in there. So I'm going to pull my card back in, and I'm going to just kind of like layer them up on there, and then I'm going to build upward. I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but that kind of seemed like a good idea. Maybe I should lay them on there and then peel them all up one by one. How about that idea? Gonna cover up our put them on there like that. I'm gonna tuck these 3Bs kind of in the back of my, what I'm trying to do is cover up the red so that you don't really see the red, and that it will give the illusion that the snow or the white ground, you know, goes all the way up there. Put that one there. I've got another bigger one. I'm just holding them in place with my fingers. I'm going to run out of fingers, aren't I? Put that other bigger one back there again. Cover up that red. And I have this pack of trees, and this is the one that I cut. I'm just going to rip it though, but I cut this one off, and then I stuck these trees in behind this one, and then I took this little tree, single tree, and I stuck it in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tuck this one down a little bit though, and I'm going to go ahead and just start building these up. I put dimensionals on the back of all of them and just built them up and out from there. So let me get started. All right, so this is where I am so far. I'm just, like I said, building up the trees. And then I'll fill in the spaces as I go with the other ones, with the smaller ones. I put this other big one on, then I tucked one of the smaller single trees down in between. And then now I'm going to finish off with the trees on the right hand side. So again, hang on and I'll be back. All right, now I got all my trees put on there. That one that I tore it off, I trimmed up the side, tucked that under there. This is the 3B. I've got it over to the right behind this taller one. And there we go. We got a nice full amount of forest there. And hopefully the white makes it look like the trees are all still in there. Then we're going to come through with another piece of white. I'll move that aside for a second. Now this one's not very wide, just wide enough to fit the truck on, because it's got to go through the punch. This is from the online exclusive, so you're trying to not make too much extra because it's going to cut out those extra pieces there. But yet enough that I can get it on there. So I've got the trucking along bundle, and we're going to use these things. Can go in the back of the truck, and I was going to fill the back of the truck with a tree, but that was just too many trees, so I left it empty. But there is this cute little wooden railing you could put along the back. Maybe I'll try that. We'll see. I've got my truck. We're going to use Memento ink again. And I did find I don't have, I've got a good stamp. This was one that I mentioned in my newsletter to you guys to check yours. If you do push too hard, it will fill in the window with the ink color that you're pushing down in. But I didn't have any other trouble other than just realizing I think I was pushing too hard. But some people were having issues with theirs, and they could not get a good, clean, stamped image of the truck without getting a blob of ink in the window. So we got our truck. I'm going to put the whole outline of the truck in real red now. Oops, see, I did it. I pushed too hard, so now I got ink in my window. So I'm going to clean that off. And we'll try it again. I'm going to dry it. So I'm just going to tap lightly so that I don't fill my window. Can you see now my window does not have ink in it? I'm going to try and line that up. Now we've got a red truck, and then there are some wheels in here, tires. And put those down. I'm going to put them upside down so I can pick them up without having a bend or anything in them, so that they should line up correctly. And I'm going to line up the two little dots in the center. To make our little wheels. And now if you're going to add on the railing, don't do it yet because you need to cut this out and with the punch, and if you put the railing on, you'll punch it off. So slide that into your truck, punch, or you can fussy cut if you'd rather. And how about let's try a railing on this one. Let's just see what we get. I got some pecan pie over here, so let me find it. How about we outline it in black? I don't know, maybe we should outline it in pecan pie. Let's see. Outline it in pecan pie. Let's see if we can fill it in. If there's any. I can't see. I think we need to do it in black so that we're going to get a difference in the what do we want to call it? So we're going to be able to see. I got to pull it down by me. Hold on. So now you can see the outline better of the wood, where the wood is supposed to be. And that's what I was trying to say as I was not speaking all the way clearly as I was concentrating. So let's get that out of our way. Close this up. Don't think that the punch, no, the punch is going to just build a truck. So you got a window to put on it, the wheel and the fender. So you can just build a truck with it or cut out that truck. So let me just cut this out. Let me put you on pause while I cut this out. Okay. Got this cut out. And now I think if we use a little bit of liquid glue, just a tad. Let's see if I can get just a tad to come out of this. Along that line there. We should be able to stick our railing right on the back. Maybe not quite so close to there. Now that looks really cute. I like that. Might have to go and put a railing on that one. All right, so now we've got our extra piece that we cut off from the first couple of steps in. We cut this, came off from this. It's the other part of it. And we want to cut it down because I did trim it, didn't I? Little mark. Trim that off. And I'm just going to glue it on flat like that. You could pop it up if you wanted. I'm not gonna. I think I got enough dimensional stuff going on. Put that right down there. Try and zhuzh that up a little bit right there with my fingernail. Just to keep that corner looking the same beat up as the red one. Okay. And so now I just pop this truck up on the front with some dimensionals. And I will put it up there high enough to capture the wood piece, just in case I didn't glue that on good enough. My card, I did cut out the window. I'm not going to cut it out this time because I'm going to position it where there's snow, so like you would see the snow through the window anyway. But if you want, just poke a little hole and then just start trimming out your window. I've got the words from the Trucking Along, and it said, wishing you a festive Christmas. I'm just using this because it's in the set. Obviously, any words would be great, but you might want more of just a traditional Merry Christmas or something. And that finishes it off, you guys. White piece on the inside. Probably stamp down a couple trees on it, but we are good to go. And there you have it, our Christmas card for August. Oh, you guys, I'm back for a hot second. I forgot to tell you to take a very light colored marker and then make some lines under the trees that you have showing, and under like your truck wheels. And you're not going to be able to see them very good on here, but they will add an element of like grounding the items, and so they're not going to just be floating. I forgot to tell you to do that, and now I'm done. Have a great weekend. I hope that gave you guys a good sample to use if you've got the Trucking Along bundle. I'm sure you got some pine trees. It's not like we don't have a bajillion and one pine tree sets over the years that you might have laying around. So that's it. I'll be back again. I should be back on Wednesday. I'm not thinking that there's going to be anything stopping me from that. So I'll see you soon. Take care and have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.